from Scott Shop Media. Today is Tuesday, December 15th, and this is what is happening on the mountain. Just four Caltrans projects affecting your commute today, especially State Route 38. If your commute takes you up and down that highway, pack a little extra time as Caltrans are doing several uh, maintenance projects on that road. Minor fire weather forecasted for the rest of the week due to some gusty winds. Nothing too serious. There are no fires or major incidents going on right now. We are at a low fire risk or minor fire risk through the end of the weekend, and then we'll have a short period of some elevated or moderate fire risk due to some Santa Ana like wind conditions. Still a little far out. Winds are hard to predict more than a few days out. So as we get closer to the weekend, we should have some better uh, updates on what the models are showing. 24 crimes reported over the past 4 days. I haven't reported in a few days, so that sounds like a big number. The average is out to about 6 a day. Two Southern California Edison outages reporting today, affecting a total of 25 customers. And another, what sounds like a big number, is 108 new COVID cases reported on the mountain in the past 4 days. So that averages out to about 17 a day, which is clearly a lot higher than we'd like to see. So that is what's happening in a nutshell. If you have a few more minutes, we will go into greater details, starting with traffic. Right now, traffic is moving fairly smoothly across the mountain, with the exception of up and down State Route 38 between Old Mill Creek Road and Jenks Lake. You have both emergency work going on related to the El Dorado fire damage to the highway, and then a crack seal operation going on as well until about 6 o'clock this evening. So you'll be down to one lane. You'll have a pilot car at times or flagging operations. So just pack your patience and please be slow for the cone zone. Over here in the Twin Peaks area on State Route 189, we have the ongoing construction projects going on there. Today they're doing some core drilling between Lake Gregory Drive and Highway Spur, which is over there by the conference center, and State Route 138 all the way over here past Silverwood. If your commute takes you on the backside on the 138, there's some ongoing utility work, and then of course on the bottom of the 330 interchange to both directions of the 210. Overnight construction widening of the 210 may take up an interchange lane from time to time. Detours will be posted if that's the case going on tonight. Weather is going to look pretty nice for the next few days. Some gusty winds off and on, which will slightly increase our fire risk, but no measurable precipitation. There has been a thickening marine layer down below, and every once in a while we could get some clouds from that. But if you are going up and down the mountain, there could be a chance of having some wet roads from that marine layer. But no active storms, certainly no snow or anything like that in our immediate future. But we will have to wait and see what next week has in store. Maybe even Christmas Eve. Something is brewing later next week. But for the next 7 days or so, no serious hazardous weathers forecasted in this threat matrix. There is some minor fire weather in the region today and tomorrow, and then Friday through early next week. But nothing too significant, nothing damaging. The winds will have a little bit of a gust overnight or tomorrow or Thursday afternoon. But over here, Christmas Eve, this is going to be our next event. A low pressure system moving in, going to bring some gusty winds possibly, and we'll see what else might come with it. But until then, we should have some fairly decent weather and no strong winds, no fire warnings, no red flag warnings, no Santa Ana wind events that will be causing us any concern. There are currently no fires burning on the mountain, no major incidents to report. As I mentioned, we are at a low fire risk until next Monday. And then we'll have a couple of days of elevated or moderate fire risk across the mountain. Until we get some measurable precipitation on the forest floor, we are going to remain at an extreme fire risk and all of the restrictions that go in place with that. And we can expect that to go on through the end of the month and end of the year. There were a handful of crimes reported, about a dozen in the western half of the mountain in the rim communities, another dozen or so on the eastern half of the mountains in the Bear Valley communities. So rather than read all 24 of those, and this is over the last 4 days, by the way, this isn't just overnight. This was over the weekend, primarily over the weekend and yesterday. But I'm just getting to reporting on it now. So I will post this for you. So if you saw some police activity on your block or in your neighborhood, you were wondering what's going on, here's some details about that. There are just 2 Southern California Edison outages reported right now. Only 20 customers in Rim Forest were affected until about 3 o'clock today as crews are upgrading their power poles, and the same in Running Springs, about 5 customers until 2 o'clock as Edison crews upgrade their power poles. Lastly, our COVID-19 update. You can see here the most recent data on our hospital admissions. We are about twice of what we saw when we peaked in the summer, about mid-July. Was our last peak. We are still on the upward trend. This is following Thanksgiving. And so a week or two after Thanksgiving, we started seeing sick people. Another week later, those people started being admitted to the hospital. That's kind of where we're at right now. We expect to see this number rise. And unfortunately, what we're going to continue to see rise is the ICU admissions, which is about 50% higher than when we peaked. But we're still trailing a week behind because about a week after people start going to the hospital, they start getting admitted to ICU. And then we are seeing hospitals already at capacity, emergency rooms overflowing in the San Bernardino County area. We're seeing ICUs at 100%, and we're seeing a significant use, almost twice the number of ventilators currently in use than when we peaked during the summer. And then we will probably see a lag. Maybe another week after the ICU admissions, we start seeing the ventilator usage. So as long as the hospital admissions keep going up, the ICU admissions will continue to go up a week later, and then a week after that, the ventilator. So we're not seeing any slowdown going on right now as far as the hospital census goes. How does that look for us here on the mountaintop? Over the last 4 days since the last time I reported, which was on Friday, we have had 1 new case in Angeles Oaks, 31 new cases in Big Bear City, 11 in Big Bear Lake, 6 in Blue Jay, 19 in Crestline, 1 in Fawnskin, 2 in Forest Falls, 19 in Lake Arrowhead, 1 in Rim Forest, 9 in Running Springs, 5 in Sugarloaf, and 3 new cases in Twin Peaks, which brings our total to 108 new cases over the last 4 days as of today. And you can see where your community is. There hasn't been any change on this risk tier. This is the state's four levels of risk, and purple being the worst or widespread, yellow being the best or minimum. There's a couple of tiers in between, which we haven't seen in a little while, but we do have a few communities in the yellow and minimal risk: the Green Valley Lake, Fawnskin, Cedar Glen, and Arrow Bear, some of our smaller communities. Everybody else is under a widespread risk. This is a 7-day average, trailing 7 days. So these numbers are from 8 to 14 days ago. And how does that look by region? The Bear Valley area, you're under widespread risk. The Rim community is under widespread risk on an average. This number here is the total number of cases since COVID started. So we're hovering just over about 2% of the entire mountain population has tested positive for COVID. But our daily numbers, this is as of today, we are at a 54. So that is 54 cases out of 100,000. We're averaging about 27. We only have 50,000. So if you cut that number in half, that's about the 27 people who've tested positive today. How does that compare with the rest of the county? We're doing a little bit better than the rest of the county. They're almost 80 per 100,000 residents. The rest of the state, 66 per 100,000. The rest of the country, about 60 per 100,000. which is all widespread risk. So that's all I have for you today. Please like and share this on Facebook. Unless you're watching this on YouTube or Instagram, then like and share as well. Follow along, especially on Facebook, what is happening on the mountains, where you'll get your late breaking news. Also on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope, you can follow me at Scott Schott Media. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you tomorrow.